As we speak, President Ruto has officially nominated Supreme Court Justice Njoki Ndung'u for the ICC judge position. For those who might not be familiar with Justice Njoki Ndung'u, here she is. Now in this video, I want us to look at some of the reasons why Ruto has decided to nominate her ladyship Njoki Ndung'u to one of the most brutal courts for African leaders. And so with no further ado, let's get after it. Number one, Njoki Ndung'u is actually one of the most incorruptible judges that we have in Kenya. She doesn't ever take a bribe. And to have such kind of a person in the judiciary, specifically the Supreme Court, it's a big liability. Especially when the president sits and reminisces what happened in 2017. Wamepika vile walifanya, wakapita kura, they arrive at the Supreme Court pokes holes in their narrative, the whole thing is shot down by Maraga and team. That was the first election in Africa, in the history of Africa, to be nullified, and the people had to go back to vote. And the biggest loser there would not have been Uhuru Kenyatta if they lost the election. It would have been William Ruto. Uhuru Kenyatta would still have the benefits of being a former president because he already served for one term. But Ruto's dream of ever becoming anything would have died there and then. So he doesn't want a repeat of that. Best thing to do is to get rid of the perceived liabilities. It's just like security studies. It's the same concept. We learned of something called DDR, disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration. When you're dealing with a gang that's moving around terrorizing people, you disarm them, you demobilize them, and reintegrate them into society with some form of sustaining job opportunities, butchery, whatever, so they can do something, they're not idle. Same thing Ruto is doing. He's doing DDR in the Supreme Court. He's disarming the justices, demobilizing them, removing them from the group, and reintegrating them with an economic activity at the ICC, which pays more, to be honest. Do you see where he's going with this? Number two, ahead of the 2027 elections, Ruto wants to pack the Supreme Court with justices whom he's sure if shit hits the fan, they'll side with him 9 out of 10 times. And the answer to his problems is to get rid of the old guard and bring in people like Katwa Kigen. Just have a look at this tweet for context, and I quote. This tweet is from Karomo Richu, and it reads, President William Ruto appoints Supreme Court Judge Njoki Ndung'u for the upcoming election of ICC judges in December. I think he should have said nominated, not appointed, because it's not yet set on stone. He goes on to say, recently Katwa Kigen applied to be a Supreme Court judge, a very clever way of removing her from the bench ahead of 2027. You know, there's a buddy of mine who told me there has never been a Kalenjin in the Supreme Court. I don't know how true that is, but from how I see things, Ruto is going to break the Houdini. Katwa Kigen is likely going to replace Martha Koome in the Supreme Court. And when you look at the police service, Eliud Lagat is likely going to be the one to replace Kanja. Same thing with the military. But that aside, that's a story for another different day. Right now, Ruto just wants his friends in the Supreme Court. Ili mambo yake ya shaiki kuja pale, inapita. Mambo yake hizi illegal speed cameras ambayo inasumbua watu, it is just an entrapment to make endless money from Kenyans. Ikifika pale, inapita. Akileta whichever silly law ya kusema watu wasirecord pale kwa polling station, inapitishwa. This guy is very dangerous, if you ask me. His self-preservation tactics will preserve his terrible ways at the helm of power for quite some time if the people don't rally and intervene in 2027, or if God himself does not intervene and maybe change his heart or change our leader. Number three, this is classic self-preservation. You see, Ruto has been to Hague before, as you can see in this image. And since he's been to Hague before, he knows all too well that he could easily end up back there if he's not careful. So the best thing he can do is what? Make sure he has Njoki Ndung'u on the other side waiting for him. And if he doesn't think he'll go there, he's Wakili Martha Karua reminding him of his bold destination.
Onyo kali kwa William Ruto. Ukigusa hawa wananchi, ujue utangojewa kule Hague. Utangojewa kule Hague. Na wewe askari, usipotoshwe upelekwe Hague na mtu ambaye ashaenda Hague. Ujue, asante, hiyo nimekubali.
Now, on top of that, you must remember, we also have Justice Mohammed Ibrahim, who died on December 17th, 2025. So Ruto possibly has 2 justices to appoint in his first term. That's, of course, depending on whether or not Njoki Ndung'u goes through. I think there should be some form of petition to stop Ruto from filling those particular seats. Let the next president decide. If he will win re-election, ajaze. If he will not win re-election, ikue kazi ya the next president. Because I feel this one He's too dangerous to be appointing anybody. In fact, there should be a new legislation in parliament removing the powers of the president to be appointing judges. Let there be a panel that deals with that, period. And he should not even have veto power on that matter. But at the end of the day, guys, that's just my opinion. Do drop me your comments in the comment section below and I'll do my best to read them and to give you a response. So with that, here today's ads of the day. If you're in need of electrical wiring, solar installation, or electrical fittings such as strip lights, snake lights, downlighters, or chandeliers, contact Engineer Wycliffe at 0707 476602 and he'll get your house dapped up.
Right now, I'm with my team headed to a client's house in Ruto for consultation. That is to take measurements of the windows, go through our catalog with the client, and then once they decide on the color and the fabric they want, we'll get busy sewing, and at long last, the curtains installation will be on us. So if you're looking for curtains, shears, curtain rods, curtain accessories, reach out to Phoenix Curtains and Interior Decor and we will sort you out. Call us on 0724 414153.
Now, if you're here for the first time, please go on and hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching for a different platform, just head on over to YouTube, search for David Wafula. Hit the subscribe button, you're going to be getting a ton of content of this nature. If politics is something you're passionate about, this is definitely the one channel that you really need to subscribe to. Alright guys, adios. Thank you for choosing David Wafula as your primary news platform. We put countless hours in research, recording, and editing. By showing up each and every day to watch our videos, you encourage us to generate more videos for the viewers. We are on a mission to inform, educate, and build a better tomorrow. To our thousands of followers in a world full of presidents, kings, and queens, you are the real gem. Adios.